All right, the name of the game today is covering a cake in fondant. So we need the fondant you're going to be working with. Now fondant is a little bit of a crazy thing. So you can take it out of your container, whatever it is held in, but when you first pick up fondant, it's going to be kind of chunky. It just wants to, it doesn't want to stretch. So what you have to do is you have to wake it up. So you want to knead it a little bit, and I'm not sure if that's the heat from your hand or if it's just the motion, but that kind of loosens the fondant up. And you want to do this because if you just start rolling it out, you're going to have a lot of that elephant skin on your cake, and you don't want that to happen. You need to loosen it up, wake it up. So work with it until you can pull it and you get nice peaks towards each other. So now what I like to do is push all of my seams. So working it and kneading it has made several seams in there. And so you want to work all of those seams down into one side. So this is your ugly side with all the seams. This is the nice side without any seams. And so that's how you want to start. From here you make a pancake just with your hands. That'll save you a little bit of rolling time. And I'm going to be rolling mine out on some parchment paper. Now, why parchment paper and not like a silicone mat? Because if we're going to supply you with a kit to do a cake or something, we're going to give you a piece of parchment paper to roll this out on. Now, they make several really lovely things to assist you with this. Silicone mats, we buy those from DecoPack. Not too expensive. They're about, I don't know, $20 or so. And they work really well. Parchment works really, really well too. So I just flipped it. Now I was rolling this way, so it got long and skinny. So now I'm going to flip it on the horizontal, start in the middle, hip against the parchment so it doesn't go anywhere, and roll. And you want to use really firm pressure to get it to be round. Now we're making a 6-inch cake, and so you want to roll it at least 14 inches wide. Why 14 inches? Because 6 inches is how big the cake is across. Then you got 4 inches down and 4 inches down. And so 4 plus 6 plus 4 is 14. Now, parchment is perfect for a 6-inch cake because it is 14 inches wide. At least this particular piece of parchment is. And I like to start in the middle and work my way out. Just seems to give you a more level product. Pull this guy up. Now at this point when it starts getting bigger, I start flip-flopping it back on itself. And that is just so that my fingers don't push too hard in any one spot so that I don't pop a hole in my fondant. All right, I'm gonna go every which way, center out, trying to get it as wide as this parchment because I know that is 14 inches. If you had an 8-inch cake, you would do, let's see, 8 and 4 is 12 plus 4 more is 16, so you go 16 wide. You can get away with not doing it quite 14 inches because it will stretch as you're putting it on your cake, but I like to start with at least 14 inches on a 6-inch cake. Now, where's my cake right now? My cake is chilling. Right now, it is in the fridge, just staying cold. You always want to put fondant on a cold cake because it's going to hold its shape a lot better and not round the edges. Okay, so I'm going to go get my cake out of the fridge. Give me just a second. Okay, I've got my cake. My cake is cold, okay? Got my fondant, it is 14 inches wide. And so what I'm going to do next is pick up my fondant. Now, I like the over and back, over and back. Now notice how much of my arm I have under this fondant. It's so no one spot gets too stretched out. I'm gonna try to center this over the cake and then move from side to side. Now you have to work quickly or else it's gonna dry out on you. Side to side over the top, I'm getting out any air bubbles. Now I'm gonna work my way around the edge to make sure that seals down. If you're gonna pop a hole in this anywhere, it's going to be right at the top. Now I am pulling out the fondant. I am laying it out like a Belle's dress. That's something that John from Cal Java taught me. When I first opened the Makery Cake Company, he said, you have to pull it out, pull those pleats out, work your way from the top to the bottom, pulling, 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 and if you have a pleat, pull it out, push it down, pull it out, push it down. And I am gently working my way around. Now notice I didn't go from top all the way down. I am working my way around. Pull it out, push it down. If you have a pleat, pull it out, push it down. You're gonna be hearing that in your sleep. Pull it out, push it down. So, working your way down, got a pleat, pull it out, all the way down to the board, all the way. And when can you stop doing this process? When you hit the board and everything is sealed up with no holes. Got it? It looks like I was talking a little too much and I might have put a little bit, yep, I got it. A little bit of a tear there. So I'm gonna push it back together and just work it till it looks good. All right. Half of cake decorating is learning how to fix your mistakes, and that was one. All right, now what I just did is going around with my pinkies. My pinkies are my thinnest finger. It's gonna push down to the bottom the best. So I just go all the way around, making sure that I got it. All right, now I got a pizza cutter. Now this guy has some pretty big grooves, or not grooves, screws in it. And you wanna be sure that those don't dig into your cake while you're cutting. So you don't wanna cut straight up and down. You wanna put it at an angle so that those nuts don't actually hit your cake. Now don't cut all the way close to your cake yet because you have stretched this fondant. You gotta go out just a little bit, cut around, and I'd say that's probably 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Go around the cake, just cutting the excess off and all the way around. Now you got a nice hole. Wad this stuff up, you can use it again. Put it back in some saran wrap though, because it will dry out. Put it in here, cover it up, and now you go back, and some of this fondant has snapped back totally close to your cake. But now that all of that extra stretch has been moved from your cake, you go back and trim it closer. All right. This in with the other stuff. Go around. All right, so now it looks pretty good, but I want to make it smooth. So I'm going to use fondant smoothers. Now the thing with fondant smoothers is you actually need 2 of them. This is a trick that Sandy Hargrave taught me. She did classic cakes from Aspen years ago. So you start with the top, go around in a circle, and then you go to the sides. This is why you need 2, because you don't want to actually put your fingers against it. Rub. Now the reason why you don't want to put your fingers against this is because they're gonna put little pits in your cake, and you don't want that. That's not okay. Rub, rub, rub until you get it nice and smooth. All right, now you might have a little bit of a pillowed up edge here. How you alleviate that is you just push it down and pull it towards the center. Maybe give it a little bit of a twirl while you do it. And there you go. Cake covered in fondant.